Yes, we are back. We are back. I hope everybody's doing great. I missed you guys. How you guys doing? How's your week going? I want to know everything about you guys. And thank you for clicking on my videos, okay? 2026, we're trying to get some consistency going. And by the end of this year, I'm hoping to stream on a regular. But let's continue, okay? Today, I want to do something different. So I want to talk about 1171 and 1172, right? I'm going to give a combined review of those two chapters. And then we see how you guys are feeling as well, okay? All right? All right. So we finally got a chapter. After the breaks, the holidays, the flashbacks, and the lore dumps, right? Anyway, happy new year to you guys. Happy Chinese New Year, right? And I hope you guys hit the gym. Hope you guys sign up for any gym that's close to you. By the way, I hope you forgot to cancel your subscription and you're logged in for 12 months. So what is my New Year's resolution? Mine, honestly, is to not get upset at breaks, right? And we see how long that has lasted. Right, so let's talk about One Piece chapter 1171. And I'm not gonna lie, I thought we were about to get a squirrel backstory. That's what I thought, but that's not what we got. We got Loki, and Loki just became one of the most interesting characters in the final saga. See, this chapter completely reframes Loki. As we all know, we thought he was the cursed prince. We thought chaos. Whenever we thought of Loki, we thought about violent rebellions, right? But instead, we found out that he actually protected King Harold's name. He accepted prison. He accepted being hated. He allowed the world to believe he killed his own father out of malice. Fam, that is not villain behavior. That is sacrificial behavior. And even after killing King Harold, something he had to do, he still refused to expose the truth if it meant destroying his father's legacy. Fam, that is emotional discipline, and that is terrifying maturity, right? And here's why that's scary. Here's why I think it's scary, right? He didn't even want the throne. He didn't want nothing to do with the throne. He simply said he wasn't ready. He said he was leaving it to settle the score. And that to me is self-awareness most kings in One Piece don't have. Loki isn't just strong, he is stable, and that is a problem. Then we get Shanks. Garling telling him to come home, talking down on peasants, positioning Shanks as an asset, not a son. Then we see Shanks' arm hurting, and that wasn't just random, family. That was actual resentment, because to me, he resents his bloodline. He resents what he came from. Kappa is telling him you can't resent the circumstances of your birth. That advice applies to Loki as well. 2 sons, 2 legacies, 2 fathers, both carrying burdens they didn't ask for. Now, to me, that parallel was deliberate. Now, let's talk about Imu, because I'm trying to keep this video concise, right? This might be the most important Imu chapter ever. Imu praised King Harold, calling him exceptional, right? He said he couldn't allow him into the world government simply because Harold's ideals would destroy it from within. That is insane. That is insane. And that means, right, that Harold was too good, too influential, right, and too reformative. All of this simply meant Imu feared him. And then we learned something even bigger. See, when a god knight dies, Imu pays the price. There's a sacrifice. And that's the first visible crack in immortality, right? You do not introduce a cost mechanic unless it matters later on, right? And Oda just gave us a blueprint for how the final villain actually gets weakened. This was not accidental. The statement Imu made was not accidental. You know Oda loves to do this, right? Then Imu says, Elbaph is a D. Now, this connects the mural, the ancient straw hat, Joyboy, right? The Void Century, and the Giants. Elbaph isn't just culturally anti-world government. It is historically incompatible with the world government. And that is deeper to me than politics. That is ancient alignment, and I see why Imu wants Elbaph. Now, let's jump to 1172, right? Some people called it boring, right? Slow. Family, this chapter is not boring. It's an update chapter, and Oda in this chapter reestablishes where everyone is, right? What the God Knights are doing and how dire the situation actually is. 3 God Knights are overwhelming Elbaph. 3. Yes, this isn't prime warrior Elbaph, right? Because we know what has happened after King Harold passed, right? But still, nightmares, thorns, arrows, regeneration, everything in tandem, and that is oppressive. Oda made sure we understood that. In this chapter, we find out, to me, that regeneration is an absolute. They even discuss ways to beat immortality, which would be to trap them to crash them, to trap them, to crush them, and to restrict them. That is Oda signaling that this won't be brute force. Immortality in One Piece is always conditional. Immortality is always conditional, and Conqueror's Haki might be the counter to it. But creative solutions will matter too, right? Because this, to me, is a puzzle combat. It's like a chess piece, like a chess match, right? So, who were the nightmare monsters? Because one looked like Sun God adjacent, one looked like a giant, right, coded. It almost felt like the mural was bleeding into reality. Oda is going full myth now, my guys. And the only risk is that there's too much spectacle that can dilute the tension. But right now, it's controlled escalation. Then we move into Jarul. We see Jarul standing and declaring that Elbaph will not be subjugated. And that is bigger than this arc. See, Elbaph chose its side. And that is the final war alignment. So, with everything that has happened in these two chapters, what is my final takes? Because in chapter 1171, we got Loki's elevated morality, Emu being exposed strategically, right? Sacrifice mechanics being revealed, and the D-Clan confirmation of Elbaph. 1172 gave us battlefield clarity, God Knight credibility, and puzzle mechanics being set up, as well as myth escalation because we're skyrocketing. We're going to the moon with this. These weren't just hype chapters. These were structural chapters, and the board is being organized. And Loki? Well, Loki isn't just a weapon, right? He's disciplined power, right? And that is way more dangerous, my people, way more dangerous than who he's actually portraying himself to be. Anyway, I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. I hope I actually did a good job. I was trying to keep this video under 10 minutes, but I hope it actually worked out. Appreciate you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!